We lost one off the car. Now we have to go see Chris. Hey Chris.
Hey Danny.
I got a good repair for you.
All right, man, come on in.
Hi, my name's Danny and I want to welcome you to the Great Outdoor Provision Company Repair Shop. We offer full service repairs on canoes and kayaks, fiberglass, Kevlar, carbon fiber, thermoform plastic and rotomolded plastic. We can repair any of them. I want to take a minute, however, to show you some of the tools you may need to keep at home so you can have your own repair shop. Before you get started with your own home repairs, there are a few safety items you need to keep on hand. The first thing, you're going to be working with some flammable chemicals, so you need to keep a fully charged fire extinguisher on hand. Also, just in case there's any emergencies, and we hope there are none, you need to keep a fully stocked first aid kit. You're going to want to protect your lungs, so you're going to need a good respirator. Make sure you get a respirator that protects against airborne particles as well as organic vapors. And don't forget to protect your hands and your eyes. Okay. The most common repairs to both composite boats and plastic boats are surface scratches. I'm going to show you just a few items you may need to keep in your toolbox at home to repair surface scratches on a composite boat. That's fiberglass, Kevlar, or composite carbon fiber. Most of these boats will always have a polyester resin gel coat. And the few items you're going to need to keep at home is going to be a polyester gel paste. You may be able to contact the manufacturer and tell them what color boat you purchased, and they may be able to send you the exact color match, which is going to save you a lot of time. Another item you're going to need is a mold release. And once you put the new gel coat on the boat, you've got to cover it with mold release, or you could use something like cellophane, and that's necessary for the gel coat to cure properly. Before we even put the gel coat on, we're going to need some things like wet dry sandpaper and a spritzer bottle with water so you can properly do the sanding. One of the final things you're going to need is a finishing compound and a good buffer. I recommend an electric buffer because it could wear your arms out doing this number. It is possible to do some minimal repairs on surface scratches on a polyethylene boat. It's a difficult job and don't expect perfect results, but it does help. A few tools you can use. One thing you can use, but be very careful with this method, is you can use a simple propane blowtorch and flash the bottom of the boat. Never hold the torch in one spot longer than just a second. Another tool you can use is something as simple as a hair dryer, or if you have access to a heat gun, and that'll work just fine, and you do the same motion. And that'll reduce the effect of the scratches on the bottom of the boat. You may actually have more than a simple surface scratch on your composite boat. You may have some structural damage, i.e. a hole in the boat. And I want to go over just a few items you may want to keep in your toolbox at home for just such a repair. First thing you're going to need is you're going to need some type of composite fabric. It could be a fiberglass fabric, it could be carbon fiber, or it could be a Kevlar fabric. All these fabrics will work great for structural repairs, and you're going to need a way to cut the fabric. This is probably one of the most important things I can go over with you. Buy a pair of scissors specifically for the fabric and never cut paper with them, only fabric, and that way they'll cut the fabric nicely every time. You'll need some type of resin or basically some type of plastic to hold the fabric to your boat. There's a couple of types of things you can use. You may go with a polyester resin and hardener, which will work just fine. I recommend using an epoxy resin, like something like West Systems. Use the resin and the hardener and use their pump system so you'll get the right mix ratio every time. Most repairs on any boat is going to be something as simple as just tightening nuts and bolts. There are only a couple of ways to repair structural damage to a polyethylene boat. One of the best ways is just to use some simple duct tape. If that doesn't work, you can try a plastic weld. You'll need a welding material, and the best welding material is the plastic that comes from your boat. I find that the best place to get this material is from your cockpit combing. Just use an X-Acto knife and then shave a little bit of plastic from the combing and use that as your welding material. I think we covered the basics for our home repair, but if you run into some problems, just call your local Great Outdoor Provision Company and ask them for advice. You can also bring your boat in. We do full service repair. Chris, I appreciate you taking the time to do the repair. What do you think the damage is?
Oh, I don't know. We'll work up an invoice.
Okay, well, I do appreciate it.
Hey, no problem.
Okay, take care now.
All right, see you later.
He's the best.